Hi, my name is Joseph Parker, WBO champion of the world, and you're watching Sporting Icons.
So, former WBO heavyweight champion of the world, obviously he lost his title to Anthony Joshua last time out, and the first guy to take Joshua the distance, and it looks like there's a strong possibility here that he could in fact be taking on BRYANT Jennings on August the 18th in Atlantic City, New Jersey, and that will be part of a Bob Arum Top Rank show, being that Bob Arum is the American side promoter for Joseph Parker, and he also promotes BRYANT Jennings. Now, this fight was talked about for quite a while, that Bob Arum wanted to make this fight for quite some time now. So there's no reason in the world why it can't really happen. It's a good comeback fight for Joseph Parker and a tough fight. You know, let's not pretend it's not. BRYANT Jennings got 2 losses on his record. The first one being Vladimir Klitschko, and then the very next fight against Luis Ortiz. Then he took a bit of a hiatus, took some time off, and has had 2 warm-up fights since then. So time for him to step up, no doubt. If he wants to get back onto the world stage, then this is a good opportunity for BRYANT Jennings. But for me, I think Joseph Parker will be a bit too much for him. That's what I honestly believe. I don't think BRYANT Jennings was as good as maybe he was hyped up to be originally. A loss to Vladimir Klitschko was somewhat expected, I suppose. But to go straight from Vladimir Klitschko to Luis Ortiz was a bit of a mistake in my opinion. I think that he needed a couple of fights to get the confidence back, but either way, he stepped up against Luis Ortiz and he got blitzed. So a fight against Joseph Parker is a risky one for both, no doubt. But as I said, for me, I believe that Joseph Parker is a world-class elite fighter. I don't have any doubt about that. He hasn't really shown it over the last couple of fights, no doubt. But it could be down to his training regime. He keeps changing it almost every camp. But against Joshua, he did well. He did well. He didn't. I know some people believe that Joseph Parker won that fight, but even he and his manager, trainer in, so you got David Higgins, who's obviously his promoter for Duco, and Kevin Barry, of course, his trainer. They all agreed that it was the right decision. So it's a good comeback fight. Now, there is talk about Alexander Ustinov. He's the guy who ended the career of David Tua back in 2013 when he did it on New Zealand soil, if I remember rightly. So there is talk about that. So Ustinov does have a bit of marketability about him over in New Zealand, but he's just come off a loss. Some may consider a bit of a shock loss, really, to Manuel Charr, which is for the WBA regular title. But either way, he is big, he is awkward, and a very, very winnable fight for Joseph Parker. And the Kiwis would love Joseph Parker to maybe end the career of Ustinov, who ended the career of David Tua. Fact being, Ustinov is, 40 years old, 42, something like that. But so he does have options. He's got a lot of options. He's still got a high marketability. But unfortunately for Joseph Parker, because he doesn't have the belt, he's high risk, low reward, as in financially. With the title, he could pretty much get most fights that he wanted, because a lot of people seen him as food, which was wrong for me. It really was. But time will tell. Will this loss hamper him going forward? I don't think so. I really don't think so. I mean, he wasn't supposed to beat Joshua. That's the truth of it, right? But for me, I still believe Joseph Parker has a big future ahead of him. He's done what many people don't do, which is make enough money to retire now, to look after his family, and he's done that. And he's got some good names on his resume. Andy Ruiz Jr. is a great name. Carlos Takam, Hughie Fury, all very, very good names. And of course, he stepped up against Anthony Joshua. In other words, he didn't wait in the shadows to try and become undisputed with one fight. He tried to unify beforehand. So big props to him for that. It's a shame that the other champion can't do that. But anyway, that doesn't matter. BRYANT Jennings could well be next. It's a decent fight. It's not one I'm really going to be pumped about, no doubt. I don't think it's going to be a sellout at all. But Bob Arum is offering him the headline in Atlantic City. So we'll really have to wait and see. But it does look like that one is going to be gathering momentum. If it's not going to be BRYANT Jennings, looks like it could well be Ustinov in his home country of New Zealand. So he's got good options, and a win for Joseph Parker over either one of those guys does him good, no doubt. It maybe build the confidence back if he lacks any, of course, but he is still ranked very, very highly by the WBC. He's ranked number 6. So if, for example, Dillian Whyte and Luis Ortiz doesn't happen, if in fact Dillian Whyte goes and fights Kubrat Pulev, then the WBC are likely to order Luis Ortiz and Joseph Parker, and that is a very, very exciting fight. So maybe he's considering his options. He's going to wait to see what Dillian Whyte does. If Dillian Whyte does actually sign on the dotted line to fight Pulev, then there's a good opportunity for him with the WBC. So maybe he may end up taking Luis Ortiz. So anyway, drop your thoughts below about the possibility of Bryant Jennings, Alexander Ustinov and Luis Ortiz. Drop your thoughts below, click that thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.